Can't believe I have to say this, but don't be a homewrecker. This story is a woman who stole a man and got cursed by his wife. I'm back with another spooky story. And this one is a submission from Grenada. Everyone in town knew that Alicia had a thing for taking men. She moved like perfume. The gal was sweet, intoxicating, and she was long gone before you noticed what she had stolen from you. When Alicia set her eyes on Marcus, oh, it was no different. Marcus was married to the woman who submitted the story with a child, and Alicia still managed to pull him right out of his home. But what she didn't know was that Marcus's wife, the person who submitted the story, came from a long line of spiritual women back in Grenada. Amara is quiet, soft-spoken, but dangerous when crossed. Amara started to notice that her husband's attention was shifting. A lot of his attention was geared towards Alicia. He went through his phone and read messages between him and Alicia, planning on running away together. She confronted Marcus, however, she never begged Marcus to stay. She said that day she told him, "She can have what's left after I'm done." Well, that very night, Alicia started dreaming of a woman standing at the foot of her bed, soaked in seawater, holding a bowl of rum, blood, and ashes. The woman never said a word to Alicia, just stood there and stared at her every night. Then things started happening to Alicia. Alicia's mirror in her bedroom cracked for no reason. 3 times. Every photo of Marcus on her phone became blurry or had black smudges or what looked like covering his face. Every time she would speak of him or even so much as thought of Marcus, she would get this awful headache. She would even lose her voice from muttering his name. Then one morning she woke up. He woke up with her hair twisted into knots so tight that her scalp was bleeding. It got worse. It didn't end there. Because Amari says that by the time that she got done with Alicia, she wishes that she had never touched any married man. If you want to hear about how this story ended, make sure you comment part 2. And make sure you follow me on Instagram, Rebecca_Journey, for some spooky scenarios. Because you support me, duh. Make sure you comment part 2 because this story got crazy. I say in every single video, I love you, my abducted humans, from your favorite Haitian homegirl. After Amara found out that her husband was planning on running away with Alicia, she took matters into her own hands. So during this time, Alicia started having these wild dreams. Alicia would dream about this woman standing at the feet of her bed so often. And again, the lady never said anything to her. She would just stand there and stare at her. Besides all the other hauntings that Alicia was subjected to, like her mirrors cracking or seeing things from the corner of her eyes, unbeknownst to Alicia, things were about to get so much worse. Alicia started vomiting sand, like literal sand. Her health was also declining bad. Doctors couldn't explain anything. It seems like medically there was nothing wrong with her. Even her skin condition worsened. She would wake up and she would be covered with tiny bite marks as if something was like feeding on her while she was asleep. And Marcus, in case you're wondering, Amara felt like she had invested too much time and energy on Marcus. She has a child with him and she feels like he has wasted her time. And for that, there's hell to pay. She says that she did something to him. And this one is, well, stick with me now. The man occasionally has maggots coming out of his pee-pee hole. And every time he ejaculates, it's worms and maggots coming out. She said, and I quote, "His balls don't function anymore, as they have fallen off the body," if you're picking up what I'm putting down. So while Alicia was down so bad, she winded up going to see some sort of priest. And the priest told her that she fucked with the wrong household. And Alicia immediately knew. So Alicia went looking for Amara, begging for forgiveness. So she's going around town asking everybody for Amara. And finally, she found Amara. Amara says she was at the ocean, barefoot, smiling, like she was expecting homegirl. Alicia goes running to Amara, asking her for forgiveness and asking her if she could reverse whatever it is that she'd done. And Amara leaned in and whispered, "Next time, don't touch what's protected." Now, Amara said that she never had any intentions of reversing anything. According to some people, Alicia never made it back home, and her apartment is still abandoned till this day. And poof, just like that, she's gone. Amara thinks that it's possible that she went somewhere and unalived herself. G and Hallie's story, unfortunately, isn't an original story. It's a story that we've seen before and that we continue to see time and time again. Man starts dating woman that is out of his league and does everything in his power not only to control, manipulate, but ultimately bring down this woman. Because why? Men be in secret competition with women. Don't let them fool you. It was clear from jump that DDG was jealous of Hallie's career. And it's not like he wanted to ever collaborate with Hallie or have some of what Hallie has. No, he wanted to be Hallie. He wanted to be in Hallie's position. I mean, he was some YouTuber who got with a movie star. I don't know if you guys have ever seen DDG with his sister. Mind you, his sister, TT, is like 21. Or she might be a little bit older now, I'm not sure. But that man is extremely controlling to his little sister. DDG has been showing us exactly who he is on stream. I don't know if you guys seen or remember that time that he gave his sister a watch. Sister started dating, and he decided to take the watch away from her and pawn it. Because TT wasn't listening to him. The gift that you bought your little sister has to go back to the pawn shop because your sister didn't do what you said. And now I'm supposed to believe that you weren't trying to be controlling to Hallie? Those text messages that he leaked earlier, the women who are defending him, shame on you. You've ever been in a relationship with somebody who wants you to lose your mind? You will recognize those text messages. Hallie threatening to unalive herself, even before she had Halo, into her pregnancy with Halo. This is all justified. You were driving her insane. This is what you wanted, DDG. You wanted to see her fall. You dragged her down in private. And because that wasn't enough for you, you now have to drag her publicly to ruin her image. Because we all like the Little Mermaid. If you don't believe Hallie, just go back and watch old videos or even recent videos of DDG with his little sister. It will show you exactly how he feels about women. They're objects to be controlled. And if you don't want to be controlled, you will be punished. Because it's his world, he's the king, and he makes the rules. I'm just saying, if all of what DDG is saying that Hallie did was true, why wait till she took things to court for you to turn around and take things to court? He was building a case against you since January. Mind you, the text messages that he released of Hallie, they were before she got pregnant, a little bit into her pregnancy, and some of them were after she gave birth. Hallie showed us recent proof. So recent, like this Mother's Day recent. It hasn't even been a month since it's been Mother's Day. He was blowing that girl phone up. He was blowing up her phone in St. Lucia, knowing that her sister, Chloe, lives in Lucia. Blowing up her phone about Brent, taking pictures of her bed while she gone. It's giving weird. It was just last month, DDG. Next part to me that no one is talking about enough. DDG created an AI bot of Hallie to argue with an AI version of Hallie on stream. Got a robot, fixed it to sound like her, and he's arguing with AI pretending that that is Hallie on stream. Hallie is unstable, then doo-doo garbage, you're even worse. Men are scary. Choose the bear from your favorite Haitian homegirl. North Carolina is haunted. According to this submitted story, there's a shapeshifter in North Carolina and someone has encountered it. I am back with another spooky story. We're gonna call the person who submitted the story Melissa. When Melissa was 7 years old, she moved from Brazil to the US. Her dad got stationed in this random ass mountain county in North Carolina. Not a beach town, not a city, straight up the middle of nowhere. Now, Melissa's always been sensitive to spirits, so it takes a lot to scare her. But what happened that night haunted her for 14 years. So Melissa and her friend were riding bikes deep in the mountain trail. They weren't supposed to be out past dark, but you know how kids are. They would purposely go far out, so they would pretend that, they just lost track of time. But that day, by the time they were headed back, it was pitch black. No street lights, just the glow from the bike's light. So they're biking back home when suddenly her friend stops, turns around, and just starts smiling. So Melissa turned around, and about 50 feet from them was a deer just lying on the path. They thought it was cute, so they put their bikes down and started walking towards it slowly. But when they got within 20 feet, it turned its head, and instantly the girls froze. Something was wrong. The head looked more like a horse with antlers. This creature was staring right into Melissa's eyes as if it knew her. And then it stood up. Its legs, oh God. Melissa says she will never forget how its legs looked. Twisted, crooked in directions no animal's legs should bend. When they noticed that, the girls scream and just run back towards their bikes. They got on their bikes and took off. And that's when that creature, whatever that thing was, started chasing them. Melissa said, "We shouldn't have looked back." However, they did. What happened next even sent chills down my spine. This is a 2-part story, so if you want part 2, make sure you comment part 2 down below. If you like the dark and mysterious and the spooky content, be sure to follow me for more. Your favorite Haitian homegirl. If you live in North Carolina, listen up. this might be a warning. So the girls get on their bike and they just start flying down the trail. Well, they shouldn't have never looked back. As they looked behind them, they noticed that whatever that creature was started chasing them. Now, this creature didn't move like a deer. It ran crouched, its tongue hanging out the side of its mouth like some deranged beast. And Melissa looks over again and realizes that this creature is gaining up on them. Melissa says that the antlers were still there, but the body, it wasn't even a deer anymore. It looked like an animal made out of other animals. The creature's changing shapes, they're being chased down. The creature is gaining up on them, so they decided, let's just ditch the bike and cut through the woods aiming for a house nearby. They didn't know them personally, but it was one of those places where everyone kind of knew everyone. So Melissa says, as they were running, she heard something that still messes her up till this day. That creature chasing them, shape-shifting, was also laughing. Whatever it was, it laughed. A mingled, guttural laugh that simply did not sound human or even like an animal. So the girls made it to the house, banged on the door until someone let them in. So they get inside and frantically, the girls just start telling everybody what they just experienced in the woods. And surprise, surprise, no one believed them. So the following day, the friend's dad went back to the woods to retrieve the bikes. However, when he got there, to everyone's surprise, the bikes were completely destroyed. Like flattened completely. People said, well, maybe a car hit the bikes, but no one drove up there. It was too rough and the roads were too narrow, so it definitely couldn't have been a car. Melissa says that till this day, she doesn't know exactly what it was, but if you believe in skinwalkers, then that is her best bet. Melissa says all she knows is she still has nightmares. Melissa says she hasn't stepped foot in the woods since that night. Thank you so much for watching this spooky story. If you like the dark and mysterious and the spooky content, make sure you follow me for more. Like I say in every single video, I love you, my abducted humans, from your favorite Haitian homegirl. I don't wear deodorant. I can't. Let me preface this though by saying that your girl never smells bad. It never gave musty. And if I ever do smell musty, I can smell myself because that's not the norm for me. But I do not wear deodorant. I cannot wear them. I have had problems with deodorants for as long as I can remember. For some reason, the pores underneath my armpits just opens up and soaks up all the deodorant. Now, I also have 4C hair, which makes me extremely prone to ingrown hairs already. Now, add ingrown hairs with deodorant. It doesn't matter if I use the chemical one, if I use the natural one, it doesn't matter. I kept ignoring my body and I kept wearing deodorant. And let me show y'all where that got me. Y'all ready for this? I mean, y'all can, but I don't give a fuck. If y'all did, I wouldn't show y'all. Do y'all see this? Y'all see that, right? This wasn't even the worst that it was. This was it getting better. At some point, I could barely put my arm down. It was the size of a freaking golf ball. Look at it from the side. And yes, it's gone now, as you guys can see. I had to go to the hospital under 2 separate occasions for that shit. I had to get it drained a couple of times because it kept refilling back up. In the area in which the abscess grew, the breeding ground for bacteria. Having a cyst under your armpit is basically asking to have a cyst for a very long time. It's so hard to clear up a cyst in that area, I don't make up the rule. It was getting so bad that I needed surgery to get the sac removed altogether. Now me, I'm not going under nothing. Figured out every possible natural remedy to get rid of it. Yeah, I can't wear deodorant at all. I'm not risking that again. But I haven't been wearing deodorant in a while and no one has been complaining. I'm also a firm believer that you're not supposed to stink. Even when you sweat, it's not supposed to be musty. When you wake up in the morning, your breath isn't supposed to stink. Just like when you use the bathroom, you're not supposed to blow it up. It's not supposed to smell that bad. But the food that we put into our bodies and how we eat seriously affects the way that we smell. You are what you eat. It's like the Kuda cat. What you eat directly affects how it smells and tastes. I know some feminine wash warriors. Like, babes, you're not even supposed to need that at all. I'm not in control of how much hormones is being pumped into our food, but I am in control of what I consume and how much I consume. Not only do I try to eat clean food, but I also take my chlorophyll, which is a natural body deodorizer. Now, a lot of people have said that chlorophyll works for them. A lot of people says that it doesn't. For me, chlorophyll works great. There are so many other cleanses that you can take that can cleanse either your body or your bloodstream. Oranges are extremely pungent. I would honestly rub like orange pills either on my clothes or underneath my arms, underneath the arms of my clothes. I basically smell like oranges mixed with perfume. It's like fruity mixed with perfume. That works for me. Again, never had a complaint. And again, I have nostrils. I can smell myself. And best believe if I do smell, I won't be up in everybody's face. This one is for my wear deodorant warriors. I don't know. Some of us just can't. Not every mermaid sings to be loved. Some sing to be obeyed. Choose your fate. Say one day you're on vacation in St. Lucia and you just want to explore the beautiful beaches, the water, the scenery. You being a decent swimmer and an adventurer, you found a beautiful beach, you jump in that water and you just start swimming around. The water is beautiful, everything is calm, you're at peace. So you're pretty much just swimming around, exploring the ocean. And at this point, you're pretty deep into the water when suddenly you start hearing a song. And it's a beautiful melody. It's so angelic that you're drawn by it. Without even making the decision, you just start swimming towards the sound. So as you're swimming, you come across something that looks like a cave. So you stop to look around. And you notice that the singing also stopped. Then out of nowhere emerges a beautiful creature. On the top, she's half human, and on the bottom, she's half fish. Her pale hand broke the surface, handing you a golden comb. She rose. Her skin is like moonlight. Her eyes are like polished obsidian. A mermaid. But not the pretty kind from the fairy tales. Her smile was all wrong, and she looked at you like she knew you. As the creature is looking at you, it says, "You returned to me." And her voice is dripping in sweetness. "Take this comb. It'll help you fix all your financial issues back home. Now it is time for you to choose your fate." Do you, option A, take the comb from her hand, or option B, refuse the comb and ask her what does she want from you? If you would take the comb from this random mermaid creature in Lucia, type option A. But if you would reject the comb because you don't accept gifts from strangers, especially ones in the sea, and you write option B in the comments. And think about it, because the answer isn't that obvious. Be careful which direction you go, because right now you are choosing your fate. If you're African American, to the front, I got something to say. So last year, Kaisa and I made a video about African Americans saying that y'all are just black, y'all got no culture, y'all not Jamaican, y'all not Trini, y'all not Cuban, y'all just black Americans. And that video resurfaced this year as he was just at the BET Award, Black Entertainment Television. Right now, a lot of African Americans are upset by that, and here's what I have to say as a Haitian girl. I was born and raised in Haiti. I moved here when I was 11. I remember from my earliest days wanting to be an American girly. No, it wasn't the whites. It was definitely the black. When I finally moved to America at 11, I was just like a kid in a candy store. One thing I noticed in school, the school that I went to in Georgia, all the African American kids were so cool. Not only were they so cool, but they weren't to be fucked with. I owe a large amount of the confidence to stand up for myself from African Americans. The African Americans didn't let nobody bully them, do you understand? And they gave me the cojones to stand up for myself. Not only that, but I also thought that the way that they dressed, the way that they did their hair was just so different and so beautiful. I wanted to do my hair like that. Hold on, I wanted to dress like an African American too, because let's not act like it's not a thing. It is. And when I learned English, I discovered AAVE from Standard English, which that's another video for another day. Because I learned Standard English and then I got thrown in the hood and people were saying things like finna. I'm like, what the fuck, finna? But it was instant for me. I sound stupid as fuck talking in AAVE. But the people who do it, y'all just made English sound sexy. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I'm finna go to the stuff. I'm not American, so my AAVE don't AAVE. I can literally stand there and listen to a black American talk all day, especially when they're going off. I don't give a fuck about shit. Like, yes, sis, you tell them. Put belt to ass. And then rhythm and fucking blues. Come on now. And I am so ashamed to say this, but because I spent a lot of my time wanting to be a part of American culture, I grew to like American music more than I did my own, and I'm so ashamed to say it. Now it's like a little bit more evened out, but I love rap. I be listening to Gunman Tune, I listen to Sexy Red, I listen to Mariah Carey during Christmas. Even the vagabond stuff, like I don't know. Like the things that people consider ghetto or ratchet, I'm just like I don't know. I love the ghetto shit. I love me my unapologetically black people. And also soul food, that should honestly speak for itself. African Americans created and carried the culture in America. And not only have they done that successfully, but they went fucking viral doing it. I be watching Young, Famous, and African, and I be like, yo, with the budget that y'all have, there's no way y'all wigs is still looking like this in 2025. Somebody get an American on set. I don't feel the same way as Kai as a fellow Caribbean girly. A lot of us don't feel like that. I really wanted to take this time to big up my African American as I'm sitting here in Black People's America. I don't think my existence here would be possible if it wasn't for all the work that you guys and your ancestors have been doing. So hats off to my African Americans. Anyway, be kind to one another from your favorite Haitian homegirl. So let's just say that mermaids are real, and while you're on vacation, you come across this creature, and it hands you a comb telling you to take the comb, and that it will fix all your financial issues back home. Would you take the comb from this stranger creature lady in the ocean, or would you reject the comb? A lot of people said that they're too broke to reject the comb, and now it's time to find out if you secured your fate. Considering it was a marine spirit that offered you this comb, her energy felt pretty familiar to you. You took the comb and went back to the States. When you came back to the state, you had this brilliant random idea out of nowhere to start a hair care business. You started your business and it flourishes. And at this point, you completely forget about the comb and the mermaid that gave it to you. Business is going really well and you're making a lot of bread. After you've made your first $1 million, you have a dream, and now the creature from the beach is back, and she has come to collect. The creature in your dream tells you, return what's mine or become mine. So now, new choices. Do you return the comb knowing that you've already made $1 million? Or option B, or would you become theirs? You keep the comb and you keep making money with a lot of spiritual implications. Or do you return the comb knowing that you already made $1 million and you no longer need it? But be careful with that one, because mermaid spirits don't like rejection. So let's just say that mermaids are real. So you was on vacation in Lucia, swimming around, when a mermaid walks up to you, gives you a comb and tells you that if you take this comb, it'll fix all your financial issues back home. You was too broke to reject the comb, you took the comb and went back to the state. When you get back to the state, you come up with this brilliant idea to start a hair business. And then you do. And then this shit just fucking takes off. And it takes off so well that within the first year, you made your first $1 million. And just as you made your first $1 million, but that same night, the creature that gave you the comb is back. And she gives you a new choice. You can return the comb knowing you already made $1 million, or you can keep the comb, keep thriving financially, but there will be some spiritual implications. A lot of people said that they would return the comb. Now let's see if you secured your fate. So you wake up from the dream and you return the comb. In the dream, she gave you specific instructions on how to discard of the comb. You do exactly what she told you, and you even bought some offering. You do the ritual, you return everything and go back home, thinking that everything is fine. What a wild year. Later that day, when you get to your hair shop, you notice that you had been robbed. Everything in your hair shop was gone. Every last bit of accessory that you had stored in there is gone. Your place was robbed clean. So you get in your car to go file a police report. The same car that you use your hair business's money to buy. When you get in the car, it won't start. This car is brand spanking new. That was enough excitement for you for that day. So you decide to just call a cab and go home. The home that you use money from the hair business to buy, you get back. And that home, unfortunately, is no longer, as some freak accident happened and it burnt down to the ground. And in this moment, you really wonder if returning the comb had anything to do with it. But at this point, it's too late. You've made your choice, but congratulations on the $1 million. Let's say that mermaids are real and you're swimming around in Lucia and you come across this mermaid that offers you a comb. This mermaid creature tells you that you are familiar to her, and she offers you a comb telling you that if you take this comb, it'll fix all your financial issues back home. You can either take the offering or you can reject it and ask her, what does she want from you? A lot of people said that they would reject the comb despite their financial issues. So let's say you chose option B. You told this mermaid, no thank you. I feel like you're trying to trick me, so I'm gonna go ahead and decline. Well, here's the thing though. They don't like rejection. What do you mean no? So you turn around to start swimming away. One problem though, you can't find the shore. You're turning around and you're swimming and it looks like you're in the middle of the ocean. So you pick a direction and you just start swimming. And it just seems like you're getting yourself deeper into the water. And now you're getting tired. Your legs start locking up. So does your arm. And unlike Dory from Nemo, unfortunately, you can't keep swimming. At this point, you're crying for help, knowing the inevitable. The same creature pops back up and offers to save your life. Now, at this point, you definitely don't trust this creature lady. So you tell her to let you drown. So she leaves you alone, and you start to descend into the water. You hear the same singing that lured you there in the first place. At this point, you start praying frantically, knowing it might be the end. When suddenly, you black out, and you wake back up in your Airbnb, in your bed. You're soaked in sweat, and you realize this was all just a dream. Or was it? In Jamaica, there's a creature called a rolling cow. And this is not just a story. Sasha's family lived it. I am back with another spooky story. We're gonna call the person who submitted the story Sasha. Sasha grew up in St. Andrew, Jamaica, deep in the countryside. When she was about 10 or 11 years old, her parents told her a story that she would never forget. It's about her grandfather Mike. So one night around 1 a.m., Mike was walking home from work when he passed this old container. It's abandoned now, but it was once home to a farmer that recently passed. People said it was haunted. Some claimed that they would see a black cat with red eyes. Others felt sick, dizzy, as if something was watching them. But Mike, he didn't believe in none of that. He was a nonsense kind of man. He walked late at night all the time. Until that night. So he gets to the corner, right by the container, and that's when he freezes. Right there on the side of the road was a massive cow, and it was just sitting there like it was waiting. Mike felt his stomach twist into knots. A cold wind passed him, and then the cow stood up and started walking toward him. And mind you, there's a long rusty chain just dragging behind it, and it's making that rattling sound as well. Its eyes were glowing. His front right leg were that of a human, left leg that of a cow. Back legs were giving goat. That was no cow. That was no cow. It was a rolling cow. And the thing, that creature, whatever it is, that thing let out a sound. It was like a half moo, half moan, definitely not of this earth. Something straight from hell. And Mike, oh yeah, he ran. He's a runner, he's a track star. So Mike ran and he didn't stop until he reached the square at Lawrence Tavern. He caught a taxi and rode home, heart in his ass, the whole ride. But when he finally made it inside, he told his wife what happened, and she looked at him and said, "It's a good thing you didn't come straight home, because if he had, it would have followed him." That was pretty much the end. All my Jamaican people, stand up. To submit your spooky story for me to tell, feel free to DM them to me either right here on TikTok or Instagram. While you're there, make sure to follow me on Instagram just so that I know that it's real. Duh. I'm literally so close to 9K, so can we please make that happen? The link is literally at the top of my page. And we're almost at 50K subscribers on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel for longer, better, and spookier stories. Like I say at the end of every single video, I love you, my abducted humans, from your favorite Haitian homegirl. I think I have a guilty complex, and this is pretty much where I just feel guilty. Like, no matter what, like whether I'm not guilty in the situation, like I'm still gonna feel like I'm guilty. So the best way I could put this is, say we're all in the room and somebody accuses someone of stealing their stuff in the room. Now, I know it's not me. I know I didn't steal anything. I know I wasn't the thief, but that's still not gonna take away from the fact that I'm gonna feel guilty. And because I'm feeling guilty, I'm gonna start to move as if I'm guilty. And here I am acting sus, and I always feel the need to defend myself. You don't even have to point out and say, Nayla, I don't think that don't matter, because I'm gonna get up and defend myself anyway. And then the need that I have to over-explain myself. So say that person is like, damn, my stuff just went missing, I think somebody stole it. Here I am getting up, over-explaining how it couldn't have been me. It definitely couldn't have been me. Mind you, it's not me. And now I'm already feeling like everybody feels like it's me. And so now I just have to defend myself and my honor. And now I'm moving sus and I'm moving weird. And now everybody's like, bitch, are you the thief? It's the process of continuously feeling guilt. And honestly, it's exhausting. Not just for me, but for people around me too, because I always feel like I constantly need reassurance. Being an overthinker is really not for the weak, okay? Like, I really wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, because sometimes I wish I could just let shit go, especially when I care, you know? And then I just care too much. And so I just feel the need to constantly have to prove myself or to defend myself. If there's one emotion that I know I can rely on feeling majority of the time, it's guilt. Even when I have nothing to feel guilty about, my brain will find something for me to feel guilty about. Like, it will even like dig back at like old times, like, yo, remember this scenario? Yeah, I relive that and feel guilty about that for me. I don't know if anybody else feels like this. I don't know if my brain is normal. And I don't know if this goes into the OCD thing, honestly. The obsessive compulsive disorder, you know, that whole thing. I have no idea. But what I do know is I'm learning that I don't have to defend myself every time, and that I could just be. It's not the end of the world if somebody doesn't believe me, as long as I know that I did nothing wrong. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's all the validation I need. I just want to know, like, has anybody else experienced this? If you do, leave me a comment telling me how you deal with it. Also, skin is popping, and this is no filter. This South African truck driver thought he was given a ride to a stranger, but he never made it back. I however, am back with another spooky story. So Cabello Moquena, sorry if I butchered that, I'm sure y'all gonna tell me. A 27-year-old truck driver from Johannesburg. He'd been driving nearly for 9 hours, hauling livestock through the mountain. At that point, it was getting dark, rain started to pour, and by the time he hit Uniondale Pass, he could barely see the road. His GPS blinked, then shut off. Again, he's tired, so he pulls over to rest his eyes, and the sound of the rain soothed him into a very light sleep. Until 3 slow taps on the driver's window. So Cabello jolted awake, and then he looked and froze. A woman was standing outside, soaked, long black hair, white dress, no expression. She whispered, "Please, I need a ride home." Even though his gut said not to open that door, he felt compelled to open it anyway. And she climbs in the car, cold as ice, didn't say a word, and just stared straight ahead. So he turns to her and he's like, "Okay, where to?" The lady sitting in the car says nothing. No response. So he's like, okay, and he just decides to drive anyway. Maybe she'll say something when he gets somewhere familiar. However, as he drove, the car began to smell. Wet leaves, rotting flowers, and then... So he glances over, and her eyes are now pitch black. And she smiled. This dark and mysterious lady in the car finally spoke up, saying, "You threw me away," she said. Just like the others did. So Cabello slammed the brakes, the truck screeches to a sudden stop, and he looked to the side, and she was gone. Shorty vanished. It was just an empty, soaked seat with water dripping onto the floor. And this has to be the most terrifying part. So he looks in the mirror, and there she was, crawling towards him from the back of the car. I'm in the back of the car with your daddy, and you twerking. Sorry. Somehow she winded up behind the car, and she is crawling towards him. And then she gets to him and finally says, "You stopped for me," she whispered. "Now I stop for you." The engine died, all the lights are off, and he finds himself in the dark. Cabello tried to scream, but it seems like no sound was coming out of his mouth. It doesn't end there, because 3 days later, his truck was found abandoned. Livestock, untouched. Engine, perfect condition. Cabello, gone. And in the passenger seat, there was a single funeral program for a girl named Elmarie Potgieter. She died on that road in 1968, and it is rumored that she still hitchhikes there. And once you stop, she never lets you go. Alright, well, that was the next submission that I got from South Africa. Thank you so much. Guys, please, it's time for you to get your abducted human merch. So we do deliver to South Africa. You can get a mug, a t-shirt, a tote bag, or a hoodie. It's all up to you. Or a fleece. It's all up to you. But if you've been watching me for a long time and you're an OG, I know I got quite a few supporters out there in South Africa. It would mean the world to me if you could click the link in my bio and get your very own abducted human merch. If you just simply can't get merch right now, show support to me in other ways by following me on Instagram, just so that I know that it's free. We are so close to 9,000 followers. All the links are in my bio. Feel free to support your favorite Haitian homegirl. I see in every single video, I love you, my abducted humans, from your favorite Haitian homegirl.